Panic and despair swept America as Black Winter fears rised. Remember when consumers were feverishly stacking toilet paper earlier this year, and we saw massive lines in food banks across the country in the early stages of the COVID outbreak? It's happening again, now that the November the 3rd void is over. The pandemic has once again become the focus of mainstream media, and many people have gone completely crazy. Just like earlier this year, store shelves are emptying across the country as Americans don't want to be stuck at home without adequate toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Each new restriction spree announced is escalating, and it has now reached the point where new restrictions are literally announced every day across the country. And if the number of cases given to us continues to increase, it is inevitable that this new crash wave will tighten further. Over the past few months, Joe Biden has told us that we have a dark winter before us. Here is just an example. There is a need for bold action to fight this pandemic, Biden said in Delaware. We are still facing a very dark winter. Biden, whose campaign against President Donald Trump made the coronavirus a main focus, pledged to spare no effort to turn this pandemic around once we are sworn in on January 20. Technically, winter does not start a little more than a month from now, but panic shopping has already begun. In California, toilet paper supplies are brutally swallowed by frightened consumers. Shoppers in Temecula had already emptied the paper and cleaning aisle in a local Walmart by Wednesday morning. Other storefronts, such as Trader Joe's in the Silver Lake neighborhood of Los Angeles and Ralph's on West 9th Street, were simply running low on such supplies. A worker at a Costco in Los Angeles who wished to remain anonymous said the store was selling out of toilet paper every day, among other supplies, but also said that this could be attributed to the Thanksgiving holiday coming up next week. Similar panic buying seems to be happening at Spokane, Washington. In a tweet on Sunday afternoon, KREM photojournalist Roger Hatcher said Target in Spokane Valley was pretty quiet, but its toilet paper shelves were bare. In fact, famines are reported across the country at this point. I don't know why there's so much focus on toilet paper. For me, having enough food for a long time is much more of a priority, but people don't have to think logically when they are afraid. And certainly, there is some psychology in all of this. When people are told there is a scarcity of something, most of them inevitably are motivated to run out and buy some of them, even though they still can. Panic buying has reached so much madness that many major chains once again began to set purchase limits on certain products. The following are from CNN. At Kroger, customers can purchase a maximum of 2 items when it comes to products like bath tissue, paper towels, disinfectant wipes, and hand soap. Giant, a grocery chain in the Northeast, recently put a limit of 1 on purchases of larger toilet paper and paper towel sizes, and 4 on smaller toilet paper and paper towel sizes. H-E-B in Texas has implemented similar policies in recent weeks. Some H-E-B stores have instituted limits of 2 on purchases of disinfecting and antibacterial sprays, while other stores have limited toilet paper and paper towels to 2. This is just one of the reasons I always encourage my listeners to be prepared ahead of time. If you have a large family, how long will 2 packs of toilet paper last on you? You can try to extend your supplies by limiting your family members to a certain number of frames per defecation, but you still be exhausted very quickly. When you try to prepare for any emergency at the last minute, you will almost certainly fall short. A trip or 2 to the grocery store will not cut it, and anyone who thinks otherwise is only dreaming. Meanwhile, the decline in economic activity around the country caused by this new round of deadlock is creating a new rise in economic despair. The other day I wrote some people waited in line for up to 12 hours to get help from a food bank in Texas, and hundreds of cars were reportedly lined up to buy food in Miami on Wednesday. Huge lines have been forming at a Florida food bank ahead of Thanksgiving, and as the coronavirus pandemic worsened across the United States, hundreds of cars were spotted queuing for food boxes at Miami's Gwen Cherry Park on Wednesday. The boxes were being distributed by the Miami Marlins Foundation amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic that has forced thousands of Floridians out of work. Unfortunately, the truth is that this is happening all over the country, and this new round of isolation will continue to make things worse as we move towards 2021. In many cases, the people waiting in line at these food banks wear beautiful clothes and drive beautiful gadgets. This severe economic downturn came to them very suddenly, but those who read my books were warned in advance of the future of this scenario. Even if this pandemic disappears tomorrow, I still believe there's a very dark winter ahead of us. If you are not prepared for the extremely difficult times ahead, I highly recommend you do this. We have had one big crisis, one after another this year so far, and the perfect storm that started in 2020 will intensify in the coming months. Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert before making this decision.